Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from AstroLada.com, and I'm your astrologer for the September 2025 horoscopes. September is eclipse season. That's when things really shake and move. That's when we tend to get, if there is any natural disasters, they're most intense around that time, and those are happening on the axis of water, earth. So we have to watch out for that. The lunar eclipse on the 7th of September, the Virgo eclipse on the 21st of September, solar eclipse. So, whoo, and this is also a sign that in the next 6 to 12 months, because eclipses affect us globally for a long time, there will be big shifts in our medical system. Pisces, Virgo, they're connected to health, to medical things, matters about health and such stuff will be very important. Medical healing system, hospital system might be changing. Virgo is the workforce, and there will be other eclipses in Virgo. So something will shift for the next, already from September, but the job market in a big way. Watch this out. Of course, with AI and everything, oof, exactly those 2 years of eclipses in Virgo and Pisces. Pisces is unemployed, Virgo is working people. There will be like a huge change. Who is unemployed, who is working, maybe more unemployed people because of AI. We'll see this because the eclipse in Virgo is with the South Node, which is like weakening. In Pisces, with the North Node. So they might be like that more people will feel like, what are we going to do, Pisces? And where are we supposed to, are we unemployed now? What is our use? Well, Virgo is like, I feel useful and so on. So the eclipses are happening there on those two Pisces Virgo line. So medical, health, and working, non-working. So this is some of the themes, plus earth and water. You see, the other eclipse in Pisces or near Virgo was with Saturn, Neptune. We had the big water floods that happened in America right after this eclipse. Now let's pray. It's also hurricane season, so who knows? But on a personal level, the first eclipse, the lunar eclipse, is quite positive. It's trine Jupiter, its ruler. It's with the North Node, which tends to give us things for previous efforts, rewards us for something that we've wanted or you've worked on. While the next eclipse on the 21st of September is solar eclipse. It's about new beginnings, but it's with the South Node. You sacrifice something and the new is given to you, or you start the new, you open yourself to the new, and the old just leaves your life organically without effort. And Saturn is coming back to Pisces to finish old work. And actually, Saturn in Pisces cleans the slate, wipes the slate clean from past karmas. Think of problems that you had for the last 27, 8 years, or 14 or 7. These are Saturn cycles, or 21 years, or 14 or 7 or 28. That has been repeated. Saturn is coming back for the last 5 months here together with an eclipse there, a lunar eclipse, which lasts for 3 months to wipe it clean. So you start anew after that. So some repeating problems been bragging you, you're going to solve it in the next 5 months. But before I start with the 12 signs individually, I have a new course. I'm so excited. It's an ancient technique, 3,000 years old, ancient Hellenistic, the 3 periods of life. Everyone has 3 periods in life. Not everyone lives through all 3. But there is a specific way and very easy. You don't need to know astrology. I lead you through that, how to calculate. For some people, the first period of life might be 17 to, for others, 38 years. And to analyze and to see, someone might be born in poverty and they shift into their second ruler, second life period, and they become so successful. Or someone might get into success and fortune and improved life and health only in the third period. So in their 70s, 60s, or some people move into the third period at 50. So for everyone is different. And I'll show you how exactly to calculate it, how to compare the periods, which is stronger, which is weaker. So you have a sense, like my first 38 years, I was in a very weak planet. And now I moved after that. So life has been wonderful into a much stronger planet. So or someone might be like very successful, famous, or, in the young adult years, popular and very promising. And then suddenly they disappear. They enter into their second period, which might be very weak in their horoscope, and they're like Mr. Nobody. So fantastic, only $20 for early bird purchases. Again, I want it to be very accessible to you. Um, and now let's go to the eclipses September for each of the 12 signs. Thank you. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, September 2025, Tropical Western Astrology. Capricorn, your planet Saturn is moving back into Pisces. And it was already in Pisces for the last 2 years, which is your third house, but it's coming back there to complete maybe some unfinished tasks, maybe to complete some course of study. Third house is learning, classes, courses, maybe to refresh some old information, skills, or knowledge, maybe to complete learning some skill, maybe to hone or master some existing already skill that you have, some existing ability, and it's going to be there for 5 months. So if you haven't learned and pushed yourself to learn anything, and to especially to master something that requires repeated effort, now would be ideal time till February. Classes, courses, maybe, but it's not something brand new. It's something that you've been thinking about, or you've already started, or maybe it's asking you to complete something you've been writing, or maybe a website you wanted to release, or asking you, or maybe you have existing website or online business or commercial activity or business, to restructure it somehow, to make the infrastructure of it more efficient, more streamlined. Because third house is all about interactions, and if and Saturn is about efficiency, and third house is about connectivity. Or maybe it can be to finish some written project, a spoken project, or media project, or to restructure your marketing, advertising in some way, or your skills there to deepen them. Or third house can be something totally different, like siblings, relatives, people in your everyday environment. And Saturn is on one level, it's about rooting out the weeds. So third house is who you communicate, who you talk with, what you let into your mind. So Saturn there for one last time for 5 months might ask you, and you might have the impulse to, for example, control your online presence, even to take down some social account, even to use apps to limit your online time for 1 or 2 hours, to create more order and organization in your brain, in your daily habits in some way, what you let into you, if it's toxic, if it's misleading, if it's distracting, and to calm that mind down. So you might remove certain people from your life as well, because the third house is connected to siblings, relatives, uh, people, teammates, workmates, or people that you communicate, or maybe get out of some groups online that you are, or block something that you don't want to see on your phone, because now mostly our communications happen through this. um, so yeah, clean up house there in such matters. And there is also an eclipse on the 7th of September, which will last 3 months. So we have Saturn working on your third house for 5 months till February, and we have an eclipse lunar. Lunar eclipse is about releasing, letting go, completing something, and it's working there 3 months. So you might be completing some mental project, whether it's written, spoken, website, or some business project, or some business contract, or you might be completing some teamwork project that you've been doing, marketing, business, it's all third house, seeing the results of it. And if you've done a good job with this eclipse completing it, you can get really rewarded. Seeing a website ready, seeing a brand project ready, business something, or a book, or a business plan, whatever, or completing some course of studies, as I said, then you can be rewarded with that. Or you might need to change course and switch something. But there might be the danger of, because it's an eclipse after all, of kind of complicating a bit, or some crisis in your interpersonal relationships, siblings, relatives, or something happening in the life of a sibling, or in the life of a cousin, relative, or teammate, workmate, or a friend mate, people around in your life. These are not romantic partners or something like that, that shifts your relationship, or something is happening in their life that can affect you in some way. It can also be about unearthing a piece of information or receiving some important and very important piece of information, like a missing puzzle that can make things clearer for you. Um, yeah, so this is, yeah. If there is any crisis in relationships with relatives, siblings, and so on, teammates, there is Jupiter sending a trine to this eclipse. So I think they will be start getting sorted, and then Jupiter will send trine to Saturn in the third house. In October, November, and December, these problems will be, or if there is some problems with some missing documents or papers, or some paperwork, or completing creative project, October, November, December, these things will have very good positive resolution. Now, Pisces is always the sign where we pay off the old karma and we complete a big cycle in life. And for you, it's in the third house. So if this resonates for you, if you've had long-term standing problems, some of them might even be a full Saturn cycle of 27, 8 years, with a sibling, or with relationships with relatives, or with colleagues, or feeling misheard, feeling misunderstood, feeling not heard and not respected for your opinions, having repeated patterns of fearing to speak out, or to say, to express yourself verbally, and thinking, oh, I'm stupid, or what I say is, such kind of blockages. So repeated problems with your car for years, repeated problems with finding your voice, uh, you know, then this is the end of it. The next 2, 3 months, they will solve it, because both an eclipse there, which is about releasing lunar eclipse, wiping the slate clean, and Saturn ending old karma and starting on a new stage there, will will really change those things for you. It's like this difficult old karma of the third house, and I'm not going to repeat it again, will finish. So you start on a clean slate, as I said. And even if it's complicated at first, the resolution comes this autumn for the people that are in the northern hemisphere. Um, it can be also activation of some trip or journey, short-term trip or journey, something about car, transportation that you're sorting out, that you're trying to resolve and fix, that you're trying to, improve on. Well, hopefully not a crisis with car or anything like that. But as I said, if you've been working on some third house project, like skills, like written, spoken, or media project, it can be the completion of it and the results. And then on the 21st of September, we have a new moon in your ninth house, Capricorns, and it's good. It's a trine your sign. It's in Virgo in your ninth house, but this is the second new moon in Virgo this year. The first one is at the end of August, so it affects the whole September till the 21st. And the second new moon in Virgo, which is again once in a blue moon, this is what we call two moons in the same sign, two new moons or full moons in the same sign. Very rare. Another new moon, but this one on steroids because it's a full moon. It's a new moon eclipse. Eclipse is 3 to 6 times stronger than just the new moon. So very powerful and important new beginning. The universe is for the whole September, October, November, almost like 6 months ahead. The universe is telling you it's really time to start something new. I'm giving you two signs here, two opportunities, two periods that are extending to start something new. What is the ninth house? Maybe for some of you, it can mean opening path for a foreign country, foreign residence, relocation, or working in a foreign company, or communicating to expand your horizon by connecting with foreign people, or people from different states, or not people from your immediate environment. Third house is your immediate environment. It's your neighbors, your colleagues that you see every day, the people in your town. And ninth house is people that feel unfamiliar to you, people that have very different, even social class than you, usually higher standing, maybe to connect you to people with more academic or cultural positions, or more social status positions as well, or foreigners, people with very different experiences than you, not from your social class, not from your social group, maybe from another state, from another country. So for some of you, it can be that it opens a cycle that you'll be more connecting and talking and communicating with foreigners or people, say, from some kind of a different background than you, different religion, different, usually a bit higher. The ninth house is higher social class. Or that you open yourself to new people and experiences, and even visiting new countries. Who knows? Maybe don't go to a foreign country on the eclipse, but this eclipse has 6 months duration, or it might be about arranging new beings to arrange citizenship, for example, in a foreign country, or something else there. Or ninth house is also just naturally expanding your horizon to look at things in a new way. So God and the universe is inviting you to start ninth house, the house of faith, what you believe is possible, to have a new attitude and way of looking at what you believe is possible for you, about the future, to make a new plan for the future. And oftentimes this can include some kind of educational or pre-qualifying endeavors as well. So if you have a new vision for your life, maybe, you don't want to be a nurse anymore, you want to be in marketing or whatever, so you need to take some classes or courses, so educate yourself, because ninth house and third house, they're very much connected. Is the access of learning, being tutored or mentoring, or you mentoring, or some of you, it might be an invitation either to study, take a course, and it's not just in September and October. It's, as I said, it's a long-term influence. For others, it can be an invitation to explore unknown areas, literally and metaphorically, new horizons within themselves, maybe discovering new teacher to follow, new way of seeing the world. And the eclipse can really make a very fast shift in your belief system, what you believe is possible, and what your plans for the future are. And because it's Virgo, it's good that you plan and do some practical steps towards it. Maybe it's like a revelation. Ninth house is where God talks to us through our higher mind, like downloads, like a strong intuition about what the future holds, strong inspiration towards some goal or some new inspiration that the universe opens you with 2 new moons and an eclipse there in your ninth house. So the ninth house is very much about connecting to the higher self, a higher perspective, trying to help you out from a stuck, like, I'm here, this is all I see, this is my reality, to let me raise you up high in the mountains so you can see from a much higher perspective and see that this is not the whole world. There is a lot more opportunity and possibilities there. And as I said, they might even involve foreign people, education, learning, higher perspective, or getting an answer intuitively or by a mentor or some person who appears as a mentor or messenger from God to you, to give you a solution to a problem, even practical solution. It is Virgo after all, to give you a higher perspective, to drag you out of the lower to the higher perspective and vantage point. And that's when you're high, you can breathe easier, you feel more hopeful, you feel more believe in the future more. And this is one of the ninth house, is one of the self houses, the self identity. So this is a house of self improvement, in a sense, self upgradement, self help, making yourself better version of yourself, the highest version of yourself possible. So it's like a pull towards that, to be a bigger, better version, more moral, more expanded, with more belief about yourself. I don't know how it will come to you exactly, but there is very strong indications there. There can be some identity crisis initially, because this eclipse on the 21st is opposite Saturn, Neptune, disillusionment with what you've been chasing as dreams and goals and ideals till now, or with certain teachings or beliefs, or with certain plans you've had for your future, with certain ideological affiliations, whether political, spiritual, religious, or maybe you've believed in the government or in the banks or something else, or some institution, or And there might be initially some kind of crisis that triggers you towards expanded consciousness and opening up to new opportunities. It might be like a belief crisis or disappointment with something, not necessarily for everyone. Also, ninth house, the house of teaching. It might be invitation to a journey for you to start teaching and spreading knowledge or advising, counseling others. That's different ways how it can play out, doing business with people not in your immediate area, faraway places. And it's also legal matters. Now, there can be some, if you're already in a legal case, some breakthrough, new direction, who knows, or the new beginning to something like something with legal matters that you initiate. I'm not saying suing people, but like some to make something legal in some way, dealing with such kind of matters. And the ninth house is the rules, the moral rules we have for ourselves, what our principles and ideals are. The universe is inviting you to this, to new morals, to new improved 2.0 version of yourself, which is more aligned to your true possibilities and your true self. It's kind of like opening up to God as well and to the higher vision and starting steps towards connecting to your intuition, higher mind. So you see, there is Capricorn's third and ninth house activation for you. They're both houses of the mind. The lower everyday mind is the third house, where Saturn wants you to put order, take out the weeds, the distractions. The eclipse, can give you even some conscious, in the third house, the lunar one, conscious and very emotional realizations about your thinking processes or your connections and your environment and developments there. While Saturn, and this also your beliefs versus other people's beliefs. It might be something that your focus goes on what I believe versus what others believe, my ideals versus others people's ideas. But it's the lower mind or the everyday mind is the third house, the logical, practical, fact-based mind, and the idealistic higher mind that doesn't think through logic, thinks intuitively, knows. So there is this kind of opening there in the intuitive, while you're being asked to take attention of facts and what is the reality around you. But there's the big shift is internal and it's in your consciousness. These are, we call them cadent houses. Oftentimes the change is not visible on the outside, but there is a shift within us, and that's happening in your consciousness and thinking processes, maybe upgrade of your consciousness. So thank you, Sagittarius. And yeah, it's also houses of learning, Sagittarius, Capricorn. The houses of learning, teaching, knowing the future, or if you want to do that, my course, which is only $20 for early birds, the 3 periods of life. How to calculate them. This is very ancient techniques. It's more than 2,000 years old. It's what was used for kings and queens and in the ancient times. Very simple. You don't need to know astrology. I lead you through that. We calculate your 3 periods and we see which one is the best. Sometimes person starts very hard and have great success later on, or the opposite. They have great success at the beginning, fortune, ease, and then hard times come. But there are 3 distinct periods for everyone if we live till the second and third, of course, which if you'd like to know, I'm very excited to share with you.